Okay, here we go. Try to find this here. Come on. Not now. All right, is anybody in here yet? Okay, okay, we say we're live here, everybody. You start piling in anytime. Well, you guys, I scheduled it. The heck's this all about? Well, shit.
Hey, Phil, do you know your routing number for your bank? Oh, I'm sorry.
What's going on? Nobody's in here yet.
Is your routing number different for First National than it is from First State?
Of course it is.
Well,
What does he need?
I went to the bank in Washington.
It's probably the same as mine.
Right.
Get my checkbook up there. Says I'm live, the camera's on, the other one says I'm offline. I don't get it. Oh, we got people in here. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't have anything in the chat window. Okay, how is everybody? I'll just have to watch you on the phone, I guess, till I figure it out. Sorry I'm late. I didn't think I was on. Something going on with YouTube not letting my chat window open up. Sorry about that, guys. I have to work on that. I thought I had it figured out. Just have to put it up here. I don't see my people I invited for the panel up here. Send them all links. Hey, how you doing, Matt? I just put this up here so I can see you guys. Somehow make it stay. Pair of pliers, that'll work. There we go. Now I can see you guys. Hey, let's see, Keith's in here. Matt A's in here. Jewish Redneck. Farmall, how you doing, buddy? Justine. Hey, Diana. Good to see you guys. Make sure you're visiting with each other. I'm trying to work on some things. Still waiting on my panel to show up. They don't show up, I'll invite you guys up here. It doesn't matter to me. That's pretty weird. One day it works and one day it don't. Must be YouTube. I was having problems going live on the laptop this morning, but I thought I fixed it. Shalom. I try to get a read on everybody in here so I don't miss anybody. Gray Man Outdoors, Keith, Kyle Anderson, how you doing, buddy? Exploring with Murad. Hello, bud. Okay, Keith, Mede, Shane's World, welcome. See if I'm missing somebody here. Looks like that's everybody for now. I kind of don't understand the damn laptop, guys. It says I need a decoder, but I don't know how to find it. Encoder, I guess is what it said. I thought that was what I had to make it go live. Apparently not. Now I can't even text the guys, see where they're at. Because I have the wrong phone up. See if I can change out with one I don't use. It's an old one. I use it to film with. How is everybody doing this evening? Hey, Justine. Gosh darn it. One thing after another. I might have to start using my phone. Hey, Rob, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Well, I'm glad you stopped in anyway. Kind of wanted a panel up here. I can do it by myself. It doesn't matter, but guess I'll have to ask more reliable people. You guys can hear me all right? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? At least that part's working. Which one to do. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me now? I know what I did wrong. Right there. The volume turned down. Now you guys can hear me. Turned it all the way down. Sorry about that. I thought I was doing better than that when this all started, but I guess not. Well, anyway, maybe they'll come in while we're talking. Tonight's going to be about if you were to get kidnapped during the SHTF. And it's possible, very possible that some of us will actually be kidnapped. If you think about it, because people like the marauders or the people without rule of order, they will always want to do something to help make them have a better day. And so anyway, what you want to do is you want to make sure that they know that you're going to be their worst nightmare, because what they're going to do is they're probably going to take the women and make them their, excuse the word, bitch or whatever, you know. But at the same time, they're going to take men to do the hard work and carry the goods between locations, because they'll probably be on the move. They'll move. They will probably try to keep up with just one step ahead of the real law or whatever's starting to reform after the grid down or an SHTF situation. So these are just a little bit of the hints that you can kind of do. You know, it's nothing like when you see the movies, you know, where everybody gets grabbed, you know. It's nothing like real life. It's they right from the beginning they instill fear into you. But it really does happen to just ordinary people, and it'll happen to you when the SHTF happens. And that's basically what I want to talk about, is so that you, as supposedly be the victim, what you could do to make everything work for you. Does it look like I'm frozen, you guys? Hey, Crypto Man, how you doing? Can you guys still hear me, or do I need to plug back into my phone? Try that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Terrible. Terrible. Okay, good. So anyway, what the first thing you want to do is you want to know the enemy. The best way to do that is just to watch them. You know, how they carry themselves. Let me see. You can spot the kidnappers, actually. You could be, if you're playing like you're playing the gray man, you could just visibly watch what's going around you. That comes into situational awareness. And so what you want to do is you can usually spot the guys. This is a good thing, because bad guys always get in trouble. So the best way you can find out who they are by the kind of people they're running around with. You might want to look and see if they got like a broken nose, you know, something like that. That would show you that they are kind of, you know, off the other side. So if they have a crooked nose, they might have a cauliflower ear. They might have like scarring on their knuckles where they're always punching things or people or something like that. They might have a callus on their middle finger, and that would be from a trigger being pulled all the time. And another thing is there's physical clues, and those are some of the physical clues there. But you want to make sure that they're not going to be wearing like our everyday garbs, you know. They're going to be probably wearing things like a gang emblem or maybe gang type clothes. So you want to just be aware of your surroundings. It comes into situational awareness. I've said that before, but you can't say it enough, because situational awareness will possibly keep you out of trouble. So gang members are usually armed to the teeth. They get the best weapons of everything. Machine guns, automatic weapons. They get everything. Some of them even have RPGs and things like that. You just have to kind of read them. You have to learn to read the people. I'm trying to go off my notes here. I was going to read them while the other people talked. As you see, nobody showed up. All right, so you need to kind of watch for them. Some of them might carry like a handgun on their side. And these are all in like the world without rule order after the grid goes down. Maybe a couple of nukes came in and blew us up and stuff. And the people might be moving, moving from area to area trying to find like a safe haven. So if you're moving around trying to find the safe haven, what's going to happen is you're going to run into bad people. That's why I'm telling you to always be aware of what's going on around you. Try to notice these people that might have cauliflower ears from fighting or calluses from fighting. Their trigger finger, my trigger finger gets a callus right here. I don't know about the rest of you guys, and right here on the tip, or you just pull on it, So you can look for these traits in these guys, and you pretty much know to stay away from them. Most of these people are looking for easy targets, soft targets, and that's so that they can kidnap them and they can have their way with the women and the guys. They put to hard work, and when they move from location to location, then what happens is they carry their load. The bad guys just get to walk around being tough looking, and the people that they take hostage or kidnap on their way through towns and stuff, then those guys would become the workhorses for them. Okay, the way that our system in the United States it's set up so that these weapons are pretty easy to get. The old adage of the crooks have better weapons than the good guys. The government wants to take away all the guns, but they don't realize that the bad guys are going to have better guns, and they probably won't even know if they have them or not. You hear it on the news all the time, about the government wanting to restrict gun usage and all this stuff. But what they don't realize is the bad guys will have no guns. The bad guys will have all the guns. So with that said, you want to make sure that you know how to escape. The thing is, right from the beginning, as soon as they snatch you and they start making you do things you don't want to do, you need to keep your head together and you need to start thinking about ways of escaping. Because you can be that person's worst nightmare if you're always trying to get away. That means that they have to watch you closer, which means that somebody else around the corner or somebody up in the upstairs room, they might be planning the same escape pattern as you are, which is going to start thinning out the people that are watching you. That will make it easier for you yourself to escape. Because if everybody sticks together, puts their head in the right place, they will be able to thin the bad guys out and escape, possibly even in groups. And now, all this stuff is my conjecture. I read articles about things, and I'm reading a book to you guys on Tuesdays. And I get a lot of my ideas from this book because it's if you guys have been keeping up with it, it's getting to a good part where it's telling you about the slaves that are being taken, and they take these people right off of crashed airplanes, and they're nice to them in the beginning to get them to go with them. But then after they have them, they won't let them go. That's kidnapping. Any questions so far? Anybody got any input? Yes, prayer would be probably there, but you're really going to have to know the skills and how to escape. You know, they're going to go through your things and they're going to try to take anything that they think is going to be harmful away from you. So you'll only have the few things they allow you to have to take and try to make them into some sort of weapon. And we'll get into that here in a minute. I just want to see a few more things of what you guys have to say here. I hear you, Caribou. That's a lot of you already know about the situational awareness part, and that's a good part. But there's going to be a few people along the way that don't know, and even though they don't really listen to you about knowing the stuff, maybe something will absorb, and if it happens, then they can say, okay, what was that one guy saying? You know, maybe it would save their lives. And that's what I'm trying to get around here. Is Volunteer in here? I haven't been able to watch. Yep, he is. Hey, Volunteer, look in the mail. I got something coming to you, so be watching the mail, okay? The bad guys can give you illegal ghost guns. Yep, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The bad guys will have far better guns than we'll ever think about having, because they go out and they steal the guns from the government and stuff like that, or even down south, you know, the cartels and stuff like that. They sell those kind of weapons, and you can get them on the black market very easily. You just have to know where to go look. So they're going to have far better weapons than we ever have. So we have to kind of, a good thing to do probably would be to take some self-defense classes. That way it would put you in the right mindset. So if somebody came up and they push you around, they try to take advantage of you by imprisoning you into their group, then you would have some defensive moves that could help you possibly escape, or at least let them keep away from you, because they would be afraid of you, so that you could make you a crude weapon or whatever, so you could try to escape that way. Keith will probably jump out of an airplane, so that means we need to get better weapons. Isn't that something, huh? The government doesn't want us to have the same weapons as they do, and they don't want us to have the same weapons as the bad guys. What the heck's that all about, right? Sure wish my chat box would work up here. I'm going to have to work on my computer tomorrow. It's just not right. I could blur the screen, but then I like visiting with you guys. There you go. That's why Chris is going to be in my group, hopefully, because he's a gunsmith. He can do things. He'll be able to make crude weapons out of nothing. Kat says, I just started learning how to tie paracord. I'm going to just start learning how to tie the paracord. Monkey fist. There you go. Yep. I have like a big lead ball tied to my walking stick over there. And it's on a string. I don't know, probably that long, you know. And that way I figured if I got in really bad trouble, you know, I'm getting older in years, you lose some of your muscle fat and stuff as you get older. So I figured if I was walking along with my walking stick and somebody tried to mess with me, I could use the stick as a baton, but I got that lead ball to swing around and possibly take a couple of guys out too. Just got to always be thinking. Hey, Dad, how you doing? Hey, pool ball would be cool, wouldn't it? I never thought about that. Maybe I'll start running around to some of these little shops, see if any of them have one. That'd be cool to drill a hole in one and put glue a big old pin in there. So some of the things that you can do, you know, if you're kidnapped and they take most of your stuff away from you, they may allow you to have like ink pens and stuff to write with, you know. And if you have if they let you keep your Bic or whatever, you could take that little piece out, the ink cartridge out of it, and that would leave you just the barrel, you know. And you could take that, and if they have you in a room where there's a carpet or concrete, you could rub that pin empty of the ink cartridge. You could just start rubbing that pin on carpet or concrete until you get a point to it. Then you've got something that you can defend yourself with. That's one of the better things, because some of the bad guys, they just take the things that they think that you might use against them to hurt them. They're not really thinking the little things like the ink pens, you know. That ink pen was a good idea. I thought you could even leave the hole in the middle of it, you know, because when you go to defend yourself, you know, if, say, one guy comes down to check on you, everybody's trying to escape that can, stretching those guys out where there's not very many watching everybody. You could take that ink pen, and the first thing you want to do is you have to have the mindset that you're going to go in there and you're going to hurt that person, not think about, hey, I don't want to hurt him, I just want to get away. You're going to have to think, I'm going to hurt this guy. Excuse me. So what you're going to have to do is, when you get up, if you take that thing and you hit it really hard into their carotid, I think it's the carotid artery right here. If you could get that ink pen into that carotid artery, the blood would just start spewing out of the pin like a straw. That guy is not going to be going anywhere, not if you do that to him, you know. And if you can't get to that carotid, you can always take, and I'll try to sit up more so you can see, is you take the pin in this part of your hand, instead of going in like this, turn it around so it's coming out this top, the pointy end, and make sure that you're going down 2 fingers from underneath your boob and shoving that pin in up at an angle. And that will go right into his heart. And that's going to stop that guy, you know. And you're just using these crude weapons that you have in your backpacks or maybe in your pockets, you know. So that's a good tool to have right there. Usually they use stuff to tie your hands and stuff. We all know about that, right? And there's different ways that you can break free of those things. I don't know if you guys have watched the videos on them or not, but you can get out of a bunch of stuff, you know. And you could use a ink pen and just sharpen one edge and make it like a knife, so you could get up in between your zip ties, because some of them are going to use zip ties, some of them are going to use handcuffs. If you're really thinking after SHTF happens, even before actually, you could go online and you can get lock picks, and you can just sew them right into your pants, right into the waistband. You could get all that stuff in there. You can actually take a handcuff key and sew it inside your belt loop. That way, if you're snatched up or anything and they keep you locked away, that you'd have a way to get out of those handcuffs. Now, if you put the key in the belt loop, make sure it's going to be close enough that you can reach down there with your handcuffs on. Because if you can't reach for that key, it's going to be kind of mindless or senseless to put it into a belt loop. You want to try to keep it in close to your front of your pants so that you can get them. You may, when you get those handcuffs keys, they come in usually packs of between 4 and 6. They'll give you like 6 keys. I think they cost like $7 or $8, I think, on Amazon. You can just buy them, you know. You could actually take and even sew some into the belt loops in the back of your pants and the front. That way, no matter where they had your hands handcuffed at, you could reach a key to undo them. They also sell those little lock picks that you can get too, and they sell those in various groups. Like I looked those up, and I think you can get those on Amazon for right around $8 or $9. So you can get all this stuff and have it in place, and if all hell starts breaking loose, SHTF, whatever you want to call it, it starts breaking loose, then you can start doing this with your clothing. You can start sewing in things on clothes that you wear all the time, so you can go out of the house and do things around. And then if you were to not be situational aware and allow somebody to grab you, then you'd have a way to resist them, how to run away or escape. And that's the first thing that you always have to do. If they snatch you, the first thing you do is you go into escape mode, and that's where you stay until you're free. Questions so far? Well, I turned the page. See who came in while I was talking? We got Mike Gilbert in here. How you doing? Commander Vlogs and Mother in the Wild. How are you doing? Good to see you. I've got to get something off in the mail for you also. How you doing, small town housewife? Hey, I see Patches came in too. Welcome, Patches. Does anybody want to come up on the panel? If they have anything they want to add, I'd be glad to bring you up. I was supposed to have a panel, but they didn't show up. So if you would like to come up, just let me know, and I will send you a link. Everybody with me so far? Does anybody agree, disagree? Let's talk about it a little bit before I go on to the next part. I'm sorry I have to look at the phone. My computer is not working right again. My laptop this time. Yeah, all these things are really important, I mean, as soon as you get kidnapped or become like in a situation where anything can happen, you're being held against your will, the first thing you've got to do is go into escape mode, because if you don't, you're going to probably get in a bad way. They'll get tired of you, or they'll think that you're smarter than them and might be able to hurt them. So what they always are going to do to those sort of people are they are going to eliminate them. They're going to eliminate any threat. So that's why it's so important that from the get-go, you are in escape mode. No matter what, you are going to try to escape, and you're going to take your best chance to do that, So that's why I'm saying there's plenty of things out there that you can pick up. There might even be some things on the floor of wherever they have you tied up at for your place they put you, So you can always look around and try to get whatever you have with you, There might be a group of you, so you could also make a plan of getting out of your handcuffs or zip ties and ganging up on the guard or whatever, But there's ways that you're always going to have to try to be ready to get away. Yeah, Commander, that's what I'm saying. If they got you in groups, and sometimes they will do that, except for the one little fact, if you're a woman, they may have you separated from the rest. And you could still do these things even if you're isolated away from the group. Keep in mind that you can still make weapons from the things around you. Say he looks away or something, you can reach up and grab a pencil, or reach over and grab an ink pen or whatever, There's things that you can do. You can pick up a piece of glass and slip it somewhere where the guard won't see it, There's ways, but you have to just be in the mindset that when you get the opportunity, you're going to hurt the person that's got you there. You'd pay somebody to kidnap you? That would be funny, Patches. That would really be funny because I'm pretty sure you're going to mess them up. Anytime somebody wants to get us apprehended, probably be a bad person to apprehend, don't you think? Exactly, Corsair. You don't want to make it obvious that you're looking around to find some way of getting a weapon, a crude weapon of any kind to escape. Just kind of look around like you're being lackadaisical, you know, or free meals, TV, and sleep. There you go. Maybe they won't have a TV for you. Could be grid down where there's no way of communicating. Could be that they're just moving from place to place looking for that opportunity to have electricity, TV, communications. You know, it will just depend on how far down in the, excuse my language, shithole you really are, you know. I'm heavy. They would drop me before they made it to the van. Yeah, I hear you. That's where I always think too. But I'm thinking if they want you, they're going to get you. No TV. That's fighting words. There you go. Fart them out. Yeah, gas them. Gas them. Well, the next section says never go anywhere without tools. And the way they're talking about the tools are the things like handcuff keys. They're talking about shims, and they're talking about Kevlar cord saw. You know, that long braided wire that you can get to make a saw, you know, for your SHTF. You're out in the bug out location, you've got that little saw thing. Well, they sell that really cheap by the rolls. So you could buy a roll of that and you could make sure that you sew it into the waist of your pants and stuff so that you have it in case of emergency. So that's what they're talking about right there. And then they're also telling you to have some sort of sharp blade on you and in a location where if they were to like shake you down, they wouldn't be able to find it. You know, because that sharp blade could help you out immensely, not only as a defensive move, but also to help you escape any bondage issues that you have, with the exception of handcuffs. You can't cut handcuffs, but that's where the wire, the shivs, and the keys are from, you know. They'll get a forklift for you, Chris. They're thinking about you, Chris. So with all the stuff that I've said, it's still going to take some practice. You're going to need, even though you have all these tools that you're supposed to have at your exposure, you should practice using them. Because if you can't use them, why would you have them available to you? So you want to make sure if you get these things, you sew them into your garments and whatnot, but you don't put this kind of stitch in that you're not going to be able to get out of, you know. Same with the key, you know, you could just have the key inside the belt loop, you know, sewn in there by just some loose stitches so you could reach in there and pull on the stitches and get them out. So that's what they're talking about is practice, 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 practice. Same with anything, like when you're out practicing your prepping maneuvers and stuff. What do they tell you? Practice, practice, practice. So that's a real big thing, you know. If you're going to be snatched up and you're going to try to do all these things, how do you know if you can do them? You know, sit on your living room floor sometime, or when you're outside on a bench or something. Take one of those big pins and take it apart and see how long it takes you to make a point out of it, or at least make it sharp enough to hurt somebody to break the skin. You know, go out and practice pulling that wire out of your waistband. You know, you could do all this just sitting at home. You know, if you don't practice, you won't know if you can do it or not. So the big thing is practice what you got, so that if it happens, you can use the tools that you have with you. Yep. Kat says, I care for adults with disabilities, and we are always at the park for lunch. I sometimes do yoga with them in the park. And we also do self-defense and how to get out of holes. Very good, Kat. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, just add a few more of those tools in there while you're doing it, and try to keep the adults with disabilities, at least giving them a chance to be able to take care of themselves if they were to be kidnapped or abducted for some reason. Since you do it already, you know, you're doing self-defense, trying to figure out the hands and everything, you know, so maybe teach them how to pick a lock. You know, can you pick a lock? I got those little pick tools, you know, from Amazon. They sell them in there, but I couldn't really use them. I shake really bad, you know, from taking pills and stuff. So I went and got one of those little gun things, that cheater one, you know, you stick it in there, you pump it about 3 or 4 times, the lock pops open, you know. But that's not going to help me at all if I were to be abducted or kidnapped. You know, I would have to learn to actually sit down and have the patience to learn the keys and the locks. You know, the key would be the best, but the lock pick, I have a heck of a time with a lock pick. Does anybody else here ever tried picking a lock? You're going to need somebody, and you know, you should try to learn that too on your own. I plan on trying to figure it out. You know, I'll sit there watching TV, playing with them a little bit. It's all in how you put the tension on that tension bar. Is all the videos I've been watching. You can learn how to pick them. You just go search on YouTube. YouTube will teach you how to pick a lock. And there's several of them out there. There's different ones that you can watch, tell you different angles of how you got to do it. Okay, we got Mike. Yeah, make a cross as an escape tool. There you go. And try to make it an ugly one so they won't want to take it away from you. Just a thought, you know. I'm telling you, if they see anything they think is going to be able to be bartered away, that's in your possession, they're going to take it. All right, Kat, that's a good idea. I didn't know there was a guy out there. I know there's videos out there, but I really didn't pay attention to who was making them. All I wanted to do was see that magic art of how you use that tensioner to get trip the pins in there. But yeah, you're right. Everybody should know how to do that. It says you need to practice escaping from handcuffs. And mostly you can look at videos and they tell you how to get out of those zip ties by just twisting them, you know. You can do that even behind your back with a zip tie, you know. And most of the bad guys, they're not going to go out and they're not going to buy the high cost zip ties, you know. They're going to go and they're going to get long ones enough to go around your wrist, and they'll interlock them like handcuffs. Yeah, but they're going to be the cheap kind because crooks don't know any better, you know. They get you the cheap kind then you can just actually twist them, and they will break. You might cut yourself, but you know what? I would have free hands, and that's what would matter to me. And then another thing, you have to be prepared to improvise. So, you might not be able to carry or even have such things on you. So be prepared to improvise. And that's what I'm saying, what I was saying before, about look around you. Don't act like you're looking, just kind of do your everyday Joe Cool way, Oh man, how are, and notice things around you. You may be able to grab some stuff, but don't make it obvious, because if you make it obvious, they're going to see it and they're going to take it away from you. So in many cases, you might want to even be able to carry or have some of those things on you. And these are where it's coming down to, of sewing it into your clothes, because if they're sewn into your clothes, they're more than likely not going to find them. But I'm going to tell you something right now. If they catch you using something that you have sewn into your clothes, let me tell you what they're going to do is they're going to take all your clothes away from you, and you'll just be sitting there butt ass naked. So think about that. And that's part of where you have to be not so, make it look like you're scared and not really knowing what's going on. But in your head, you know what's going on, Yeah, that's right, Patches. That's why I'm saying, I've read a lot of articles on this, and I've practiced it myself with the zip ties. But most of the articles I've read from law enforcement officers and whatnot, criminals are not really going to buy those real expensive zip ties like the law enforcement guys use. They just won't do it. I mean, they'll go to Walmart and they'll get those cheap long things so that they can take them and loop them into each other and start the thing so they can just slip them on your hands, I even watched some of those videos where they have the handcuffs with the stiff bar in between them, So your hands are stuck like this, they're not in like this, they're out like this. So those, you have to learn somehow to pick that lock to be able to free yourself from them. Mike says it also says if we witness evil and we do nothing, we will be held accountable. See there? Comes back to being in escape mode. And that means if you have to hurt them, you have to hurt them, And that's what I keep telling you over and over again. If you get some sort of weapon, be prepared to hurt that person, possibly kill them. Because if you don't kill them, they're going to come back and get you. And when they come back and get you, they'll probably kill you. Okay. All right, this is where I was telling you. You could also take, I told you about the ink pen. They give you another example here, and they tell you even if you could find a toothbrush or something like that laying on the floor or somewhere in your captivity, or maybe they let you keep it in your backpack or whatever with your water, you could actually take the toothbrush handle and make a shiv out of it, just simply by rubbing it on some concrete, I suppose it would work on the rug, but you would have to have an awful lot of friction on there. You'd have to be moving it back and forth really fast. You'd always have to be looking around you, making sure that they're not going to catch you. You always have to make sure that they're not going to catch you, okay? Okay, questions or comments? We're on the third page. Duct tape. Yeah, duct tape would be something where you want that sharp piece of glass or a piece of tile or something like that could be broken out from a window, from when the bombs went off or whatever happened, whatever catastrophe that we're into, It's going to blow out windows and stuff like that. And you want to make sure that if you can pick up a piece of glass, that you could use that to cut yourself free. That would be able to cut through rope or duct tape or whatever you have, and even zip ties. But I would rather do the fast thing and just whip them out, But for tape and stuff like that, I would suppose that that would come into play for looking for a piece of glass or a shard of something laying around that you could just pick up and not be noticed. That bad guy won't notice it. You do it so quickly they don't notice it. Hey, how you doing, Psycho? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I would think that a sharpened toothbrush handle would be better than a pen. If you could get it pointed and sharp on one edge, that would be deadly. Yeah, I think so. That'd be just like having a knife, Okay, I need a drink, you guys. Nope, it's not vodka. So any other questions or comments real quick? Go to that crazy place. That's right, Mike. Put yourself in that mode of, hey, I'm a crazy son of a buck and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get out of this bad situation. And if you can't put yourself in that mindset, you could seriously be in trouble. All right. Okay, you want to use the mindset as software over hardware. That is in quotations. And despite the undeniable value of tools, knowledge and resourcefulness are always more valuable. No matter what, it's all up here. Remember, your situational awareness, knowing what's going on around you, acting dumb, doing the things it takes to free yourself and possibly other people that are with you. Some people are just not made out to be the bad guy. They can't put themselves in that frame of mind. Oop. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. Echo. So right from the time that they get you, the clock starts ticking. You want to make sure that as soon as you're pushed into a vehicle or grabbed on the side of the road, or say the end of the world is extreme and everybody's on foot, if they take you and they bind you up and put you on a long rope and pull you along like a pet dog or whatever, make sure that as soon as that happens, that the clock starts ticking, okay? And when the clock starts ticking, it doesn't get easier as time goes by. So you want to try to escape within the first 24 to 48 hours. Because after that time goes by, things start getting worse and worse for your captivity. So after you've been kidnapped, the first few minutes, you may still have things like your shoes, your shoelaces, or your clothes, and they all might conceal tools, and you want to make sure that you put yourself in the position to be able to get those tools out of your clothes so that when they get you to a location and get you settled down, they're going to search you, and you want to make sure you hide your tools very well. If you got shoelaces in your shoes, you may want to consider taking them out and doing it when on the quick low, so that your captors aren't actually seeing you do that. Or if you see them coming, by some fluke, you may be able to see them coming and knowing that you have no way of protect or defending yourself at that moment, decide to make a quick decision of taking out the shoelaces on your shoes and stuffing them somewhere where you won't, where they won't be seen. Like I could probably take stuff and just throw it up there like that, something like that, if you have any tools or something, shoelaces, pocket knife, razor blades, something like that, you may want to consider taking those objects and putting them where they won't be found right away, because the first few minutes is basically the most time you're going to have to start getting prepared. That's where it comes down to the clock ticking. So after a few days, or even after a few hours, you guys, the items will be found. And if they find them, this is what I was telling you before, if they do find them, they will strip you down naked, and they will just let you sit on a cold floor or wet floor or whatever. You'll be curled up in a ball. You'll be with men, with women, with children. It's just not going to be a very pretty thing. And so you need to be thinking about escaping as soon as possible. That's what it comes down to. The last thing you want to do is be stripped naked, because then how are you going to find any tools? Any tools that you may have had are gone. So that's going to put you in the position of being not able to escape within the first 24 to 48 hours. And then it gets tougher and tougher. And, this is another thing you need to consider is if you're with a group of people and you start using these things that you've got stashed on your body or around, and you start using these tools to escape, there might be somebody in your group or in the group that you're put into that will do anything to have their life better. So what are they going to do? Tell me what they're going to do. They're going to snitch you off. Hey, Joe Blow's got something. You better search him. Right? That's what you got to think about, you guys. So, feel your people out that you're with. Make sure that you tell them that hey, you don't want to just sit there and wait, because the longer you wait, the worse it is for you, okay? All right, Diane, thanks for coming in. Lots of prayer, yep. Have a nice evening, Diane. Thank you. I'm about done with this anyway. Maybe get some of you guys up here. I know some of you guys are preppers and survivalists. Hey, how you doing there, Chris and Leslie? Good to see you. Glad you dropped in. So the last thing you want is to be stripped naked, blindfolded, or hogtied, because slowly they're going to weaken you. When you don't have clothes on, you don't have shoes on, you're just plain butt-ass naked, then you're going to start getting weakened, and then your senses start dulling. Pretty soon you don't have any way to come up with an idea of escape. So that's why I keep telling you time and time again, you got the first 24 to 48 hours, because after that, they're going to keep making it hard on you. I mean, they may move from location to location, and they're going to use whatever they need to get their crap, their goods, their food, their water, whatever else they have taken along the way. They're not going to carry it. They're going to make the people that they have abducted or kidnapped, those are the people that are going to be carrying everything. And if it's a big weight that they have to carry, they'll be dropping like flies, So think about that, They get me, if they get me naked, they'll die laughing for sure. Good one, Patches. So the best time to escape is immediately. You got to seize the moment, you guys, and because your life depends on it. Fight for your life is basically what it's all about from the beginning. As soon as they get you, the first thing you do is go into self-defense mode. It's escape, escape, escape. If you're still there on the third day, you're probably going to end up perishing. I'm not trying to scare anybody. It's just a fact. It's a fact. I've read several articles on it, and it's just terrible what they would do to you. I haven't been kidnapped, so I don't know what it would be like, but I know that if I were kidnapped, I would do this. I would start looking for ways of escaping. That's just the sort of person I am, but not everybody is got that mentality to do that. Those are the people that you're going to have to beware of. So the shiv is the most popular weapon for people that are being abducted because, like the guy said, the toothbrush is probably going to be your best bet, but the cartridge of a Bic is good too. It can be used to pump the blood out of somebody. Like I told you earlier, you get them in the neck and in that carotid artery, and they just bleed out in a matter of seconds, you know. If you can't get them there, then you turn the thing around like I showed you, and you punch them. It's 2 fingers right below your boob, and you push upward and as hard as you can. I mean, don't pull it back. Just think that, and think, well, I don't need to do this, because if you don't do it, he's going to come and get you. I guarantee it. So they're saying that the shiv is the most popular weapon if used in the right fashion. Then it goes on to tell you about how I told you guys how to use them. And then they're telling you how to use a sewing machine to get these are the last things you want to do before it happens. You want to use a sewing machine and to sew all the stuff into your clothing, and they are telling you the same thing I told you. Sew the seams in loosely so that they can come out easily. Because when they're searching you, the bad guys, the abductors, whatever, when they're searching you, they're not looking to see how tight those stitches are. They're just looking for stuff, and they're trying to do it as fast as they can. So let's see. You can hit in the artery up, they're telling you. So when facing captivity, torture, and or worse, fighting fair is off the table. So if you can't fight dirty, you better start practicing now, because when the situation really does arise, you want to make sure that you can put your mind around that and go into that mode. It's just that easy. I mean, I know a lot of these guys in here are ex-military. I'm ex-military. We have been trained to go into that mode. So for us, it would be easy. But there's some folks that are not quite so tactful, I guess would be the right word to put it. But if you don't practice now, and that's what we're telling you, practice, practice, practice. And we tell you about that about prepping, and we tell you that about homesteading too. So bushcrafting, it all comes down to practice. Yeah, it's like Patches is saying. Imagine after SHTF event, an escaped prisoner knows all the traits of kidnapping, because if they've been locked up, they've learned a lot of stuff being locked up. And the way I feel about it is, when all hell breaks loose, the prison system is going to collapse. All those folks that are in prison are probably going to be set free, because the power will go down. Then with the power down, none of the electronics will work in the prison. They'll have a backup generator, sure. But if it's really an SHTF situation, those generators really aren't going to last much longer than about 12 to 48 hours. So you'll want to make sure that, those guys are going to be like given a furlough. And those guys already know how to fend for themselves. So eyes, yep, eyes, arteries, groin, those are easy places. Yep, the groin is a good place. But remember, if you're going to use those handmade shivs, the Bic pen or the toothbrush handle or whatever you can find, a shard of glass, a shard of a tile, whatever. When you charge that person and you know that that person's going to get hurt, don't stop. Keep going. Make sure that person is not going to be able to get back up after you started your duty. Because if he gets back up, I guess I'm going to have to say a prayer for you because you'll be dead. So I'm going to go into the conclusion part of it, which is the odds of being kidnapped are pretty low, okay? Probably even after SHTF, but there are going to be marauders and bad guys out there that we always have to watch out for. So as long as we know what to do when that happens, shouldn't really be an issue, you know? I mean, there are plenty of little tricks that you can do to protect yourself from being captured, you know? And so make sure that you're getting these things sewn into your clothes. I mean, even if you don't use them, that's a good thing. But if you have to use them, then they're there. That's how I look at it. And it sounds like I'm going to have another video just showing you guys how to put them in. It's okay. I got plenty of time. Yeah, that's like Patches says, if you're in a group, you want to make sure that somebody's awake and somebody's asleep all times. That way the person that's awake can be working on an escape plan. Then when he's got to rest, the other person takes over. Very good plan. So some hiding spots for the tools. A cuff key could be sewn into a belt loop like I've already told you, and the Kevlar cord can be sewn into your waistband of your jeans, and restraint tools can be also sewn into your jeans, either in the hem of your pants leg or somewhere along one of the other seams, because you want the loops and the waistband to have either the lock, the picks, and the cord, but you could have a sharp thing down on your leg in your hem or whatever, like a razor blade or a knife blade or something like that, something small that would fit in there, and then you would have it like if they were to tie you up so that you were all bunched up like a ball, you could still possibly get yourself down there to the leg. You know, I haven't tried it yet, but I plan on practicing ever since I read all these articles and started putting all this together for you guys. Came up with some pretty good ideas that I want to put in place, at least for myself, my son, my family. You know, make sure that everybody's knowledgeable. You know, knowledge is power, and we have power in numbers. So if you get snatched up and you put in a group, you need to start getting that group put together with the same mindset. And the ones that are the weak links, I'll leave that up to your imagination. You guys would know what to do. Hey, okay, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. I'm finishing up here, but I'm going to visit afterwards, so hold on. All right, you guys, that's what it is. I hope you guys got a little something out of it. It was kind of interesting for me to put together for you. I learned some stuff that I really didn't know about, but I know that if I got kidnapped or snatched up or whatever, I wouldn't just give up and do whatever they told me, because just common sense tells me that if something new comes along, a younger guy or somebody that's going to be a little more easy to handle to get to do things, then guess what? The guy that's giving them a lot of trouble, not going to be staying around very long. So if you guys got any questions or comments, go ahead and spit them out there, and we can go into a BS mode if you want for a little while or a little bit, and then we'll get out of here. Oh, man. Yeah, those prison doors that just come open, don't you think, Patches? I'm pretty sure that if all hell breaks loose, that the prisons, all the prisoners that have been locked up, they're going to be free game. They're all going to be out on the range looking for what they can get for nothing. Zach and Brenda, how's your trip? We have the largest prison system in the world. We detain the most people. So if everything were to go south on us, I'm pretty sure that we'd have a couple of million people out there wanting to do us some harm. Zach and Brenda are going to tell us how it is down in Georgia. Hey, Stormy, how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. So as you all know, I just started doing this Monday night thing, and I'm going to be continuing doing it probably indefinitely, because I actually think that this is important stuff to be covering, especially in the times that we live in with everyone being so divided right now. So it's just good news to have. I'll be having another topic next week. I haven't gotten it put together yet. I have to find the right people. I have an idea, and I'll put it out as soon as I get it. And I want to try to put some people that have knowledge in the area, opportunity to come up on the panel. Another thing is, if any of you have an idea on a topic that we could talk about, you could email me. My email is in my about section, and you could send me a quick email. Tell me what your topic is, and tell me that you'll be on the panel with it, because it'll be your idea, not mine. So I would like for you to come up on the panel with me, and we'll find a couple of other people that are interested in the same topic, and we'll put them up here, and we'll have a talk between the panel, and then turn the panel loose on the side chat. And since this is only my second opening at this, and I'm not going to say try because I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, patting myself on the back, but we'll keep doing it anyway. You know, even if I'm the only one like tonight, I'll continue on. It's not going to go away. Want to talk about, tell you what I'm looking at right now is I would like to have a topic on what you think we should grow in SHTF, and where. Is it going to be possible to grow after a nuclear attack, or are we going to have to adapt to indoor growing? And I don't want any answers tonight, but I want you guys to think about that for next week. Try to get out there, and we'll try to make everything so people that have had these questions but don't know where to look or ask, then they know there's a place to come for that. What is SHTF? Somebody want to enlighten her? It stands for when poop hits the fan. But it's not poop, it's that S word. Best way I could put it. So, you know, I'm hoping it doesn't happen in my lifetime or my son's lifetime, but having the knowledge and knowing that you could carry something out is absolutely golden. even if you don't believe in it, you could actually practice. It's never a bad idea to have at least 6 months of food set to the side just in case there's another shutdown. You could think about it like that. Say the president decided to go into another shutdown until he could convince everybody to build a wall. Well, if the shutdown lasted 6 months, I can guarantee you that the trucks would quit going down the road and the trains would probably come to a halt. And the planes would probably be grounded because the planes were having a hard time after 30 days. So think about it. If it was for 6 months, they'd all be belly up on the ground. And that would be the end of being able to run down to the corner store, getting what you needed, trust me, because those shelves will go empty. So when it does happen, you want to make sure that you're not going to be one of the ones scrambling around trying to find something to feed your family. At least this way you have something put away for a rainy day. And we'll cover that too in one of my podcasts. We'll talk about how to go about storing your food, for how long and how much you'll need. I have already got a bunch of information on that, but it's not in the planning works yet. All right, Corsair. Have a good one, bud. I'll see you out there on the tube. So did we answer your question for you, Stormy? Absolutely. If you guys would actually go to the Department of Homeland Security's website, they are already asking Americans to put away at least 6 months worth of food. So if they're putting that out there for the public to read, I would just about think that you would have to start doing it, because they know something we don't when they're telling you to keep that much food on hand. I went and looked. I didn't just hear it on the tube. That's where I heard it, but I went and looked also. So that is what they are suggesting that we do as Americans, is have 6 months of food put back for hard times, is how they call it. Anything else you guys have on your minds? How about you, Patches? You seem to be pretty knowledgeable, sir. I've heard you in other live streams. May have to pick on you and make you come up here and talk to these folks. Maybe they'll put a minefield around the prisons. What do you think about that? If they put minefield around each prison, then when they open the big gates to let them out, then maybe half of them would step on the wrong target. Yes, sir, I know you have. You and me both. I grew up in the outdoors, so it was pretty easy to convince me. It's like everybody says, most people say they'll go out and they'll go hunting to get the food they need. They don't have to store it up. But if you actually think about it, if SHTF were to happen, if the shit was to hit the fan, then what would happen is the animals and the plants will probably be contaminated. You won't be able to go out and hunt like you think you can. Most of the animals will be dead. If you're not dead, they'll definitely probably be dead, because they'll be they'll be feeding themselves on plant life, you know, the grass and the trees and all that stuff. And guess what? Those are going to be contaminated with radiation. So you have to kind of think outside the box, you know. The Army, yep, the Army was your instructor. Yeah, I got a little bit of military under me too. It's that was a long time ago, but you know, you just never forget that stuff. I practiced it a lot out in the woods. I can do just about anything I need to do just to survive out there. So I built me a bug out cabin at the top of this mountain that nobody could find but me and my buddy. It was hidden pretty good. That's about right, huh, Mike? There's thousands, probably millions of people that have that mindset. Is that they're just going to go out and kill what they need to feed their families. I've heard so many people tell me that. Well, what are you going to do? Well, I'm just going to go hunting. I'm going to go out and start hunting for food. I'm going to kill deer and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. They don't understand that if it comes down to that the plant life and the animal life are probably going to, at least some of the population will die, if not all of it. That goes for cows too. Cows, goats, chickens, whoever's out there on the open land when a big strike comes and they hit maybe a couple of radioactive power things, you know, those big towers that I can't remember the word now. But they hit a couple of those and we're kind of going to be toast, you know. So I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I'm just trying to make you think that it could happen, you know, and it could happen in hopefully not in our lifetime, but it could happen. So if you're not thinking about it, at least thinking about it in the back of your head, you know. I'm not telling you to live it or anything like that. I'm telling you to be prepared for what could happen. That's absolutely right, Patches. Everybody, there's going to be a lot of people that don't know how to take care of themselves, and those are the people that you should watch out for. Because you know those guys that say they're going to go out and hunt the animals to feed their family, when they get out in the real life and they see that there is no animals there to hunt, guess who they're going to hunt? They're going to hunt each other, be hunting mankind. So I just let them think whatever they're going to think because you just cannot convince people like that otherwise. Yep. That's like you said, Mike, the depression. Yep. A lot of the animal life went to hell there, didn't it? Everybody was out there hunting it because they didn't have any food at stores and whatnot. Didn't take long for them to start dwindling away the food sources. Wildlife's not on anyone's menu. Yeah, basically true though. Because when they get out there and start looking for it and it's not there, they're going to be looking for something. If they can find somebody that is prepared, I'm sure that they'll pull out all the stops and go for it, you know. Up North Outdoors. Hey, I didn't see you come in. How you doing? Yep, they think they know everything, exactly, and that's why I just don't bother with them. You can sit there till you're blue in the face trying to convince them, but you know what? You just can't do it. They think they know everything. Here's another good one I hear is, oh, let it come. Let it come because it's not going to happen in my lifetime. It's not my problem. But you know what? It is their problem because it's going to be their future family. Think about it. Hey, I'm glad you're good, bud. That is very true, Patches. My kid, he goes to college and he spends all his non-school or work time on a computer, on an Xbox or whatever. But you know what? he can do whatever he wants. He has been trained. He knows how to take care of himself. Him and I have been out in the woods together many times. So, hey, how you doing, soldier? Good to see you. What's up? You missed a good one. I think it was a pretty good one anyway. Still talking about it, so it must be something. Thanks, Patches. I appreciate that. When I get a minute, I'm gonna make you a mod, okay? I just can't do it from this setting right here. I'll do it after I get out of here. Did Uncle Al? Yeah, you did. Hey, how you doing, Uncle? You guys, if you guys are not subscribed to Die Bullfrog 79, you would be doing me a huge favor to do that. He is a very knowledgeable guy. He's old like me. He got some experience. He has lived the life. He knows exactly what we talked about tonight. He has lived in third world countries. He's a pretty knowledgeable guy. Get over there and check him out. Okay, 3 more minutes, you guys, and then I gotta turn into a pumpkin. Oh, you been here listening in the back? I thought maybe you went and laid down or something. Let me get my pen out here. I want to write down. Okay, I got your call name there, Patches. Next time you come in, you'll be blue. All right, you guys, I think we're going to close her up. Really enjoyed visiting with you guys and giving you a little bit more of my knowledge. If for some reason you're not subscribed to my channel, I just can't imagine you're not. But if you're not subscribed to me, just do the usual thing. Hit that subscribe button and that bell. You hit that bell so the next time I have one of these live streams, you get a notification. The old man's been lurking, yes, sir. All right, Up North Outdoors, good night, and have a great evening, okay? Night, Mike. I want to thank everybody again, okay? And I'm going to end her out right here, and you guys have a great rest of your evening. I hope to see you out there again. I'll be out there on the tube looking around. I'll be catching up to you. Till next time, you guys.